Welcome back, everybody. This is Farm Talk. This is where we talk about our decisions that we have made based off of our own observations here on the homestead / farmstead, and just kind of give you a brief synopsis of why we've chosen to do the things that we have done and our experiences.
Yeah, we're no experts. We're just people that started a little farm and a homestead, and we want to bring you our decision-making process to you so that maybe it'll help you out in the future. So, stick with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back.
We are going to discuss a little bit about our big decision
Adventure.
Journey in the alpaca world and why we decided to get out of it. I'm not going to tell you that getting alpacas is a mistake.
No, we just weren't ready for them.
Right. It was a big learning thing for us. We wanted to do the fleece, and Jessie still has her spinning wheel and all that stuff, and we still have a ton of fleece that needs to be spun.
Probably about 70 pounds.
Yeah, into some yarn. And
I guess the main thing that you don't really realize going into it is that alpacas are a huge investment, both time and money wise. They're getting cheaper because, it's just supply and demand, and there are a lot more of them, and a lot of people are getting out of them, so the price of them is coming down, and you can find them more readily now than you could whenever we got them.
Right.
So that is one thing, if you're looking into it, is the price is definitely coming down for right now.
Yeah, and so they're becoming more affordable, and we lost our butt on them.
Right. Well, you can't really say that either because the barn came with it.
Well, the barn came with it. That's my shop.
Right. So what happened was we knew somebody. They had 9 alpacas for sale, and anyway, so I started talking to her about these alpacas. And come to find out, for just pennies to the dollar, we could buy everything from them. They were getting 100% out of the alpaca business. Time had become an issue for them, so they were getting out, and they were offering all of the alpacas. We got all of the gates that they had.
But yeah, if it had anything to
Everything.
do with an alpaca, the waterers, the feed troughs, the gates, we probably could have taken the fencing if we wanted to.
Right.
The barn was a 30 by 30 pole barn. We just had to tear it down, and we got an extremely good deal.
Right. So overall, it ended up not being a huge slap to the face.
That's right, because
we still have the barn, and the barn itself now is probably worth what the initial investment is or was.
Right.
But the heartache that comes with alpacas, I'm not sure that was worth it.
Alpacas are hard, y'all. They're really. Here's the issue: is that you need support. You need somebody, not only a professional as far as a vet that's available, but you need somebody around to help you in the process, and that's real hard to find. Right. in a lot of parts of the country. They're not hard to find. Where we're at, we can't find a vet.
Because it has to be a camelid vet, and we ran into some issues with some of ours, and there was not a large or small animal vet within probably 50 to 60 miles of us that would come out and the closest we could find was probably 2 hours away, and they would not come to us. We would have had to transport the alpacas to them. So camelid vets are just, they're hard to come by, and there were no alpaca owners around us. We ended up finding a really awesome couple, but they still lived quite a bit away from us. It was quite a long journey. So definitely you wouldn't want to go into it without having the support system that he's talking about. Other camelid owners, whether it be alpacas or llamas or whatever, you're going to want somebody around you that can A, mentor you, or B, be there when you get into a situation. And unfortunately, we didn't have that until ultimately it was too late. We had not made the connection with other camelid owners until we had just had heartbreak after heartbreak.
I mean, there's so much bad information out there, and then when you do get in your support groups, like on Facebook and stuff like that, I mean, Jesse probably don't want me to mention this, but they're not the kindest people. I mean, some of them are, but you know, if you don't know, they're going to rip you one, and then they're going to tell you how to fix it, and you just have to be prepared when you ask a question, because when you ask a question, you're going to get ripped apart, because, you know, and everybody has their own theories, okay? So ruminants, you know, the goats and alpacas, they share parasites. So you're not supposed to run goats with alpacas, but some of them do, and it's really more of ends up kind of being a preference thing. So if you go this route, you're going to get yelled at by one group, or if you go this route, you're going to get yelled at another group. So, and
ultimately the issue with running alpacas and goats together is they do share parasites, but because goats can carry such a higher parasite load, it becomes an issue, because your goats can have worms or whatever and you never really know. They don't show any signs of it. They don't lose weight. Their Comanche score is still great, whereas you take that exact same parasite load that a goat has and put it on an alpaca, and it will kill them. And it will kill them just that quick.
Yeah, and we had some. So, you know, and then you have all your special circumstances, such as if you pretty much live west of the Mississippi, or you have to deal with inworm, or if you have whitetail deer, you have inworm, and
that's a monthly injection.
Where you have to have, corner them up and inject them, which alpacas it takes a while to earn their trust.
Right.
And
to get good, highly trained, perfectly healthy alpacas, even in today's market, they will be expensive.
Yeah.
So I will caution you to be wary. If you find cheap, reasonably priced alpacas, just be prepared for some of the medical expenses that you may incur.
Because there are certain things like barber pole or inworm, some parasites that will take an alpaca down immediately. I mean,
right.
Just fast. And you have to do a fecal check. Once again, even the local vets around here don't do the right kind of fecal test. So we had to ship ours off to wherever that place is.
Wisconsin or Michigan or somewhere.
Yeah, so we had to ship 9 bags of poo, every month. And then on top of that, with your pasture, you have to clean their poop up every day. They all poop in one pile, pretty much. You're supposed to clean that up every day. Some people, once again, you have your group of individuals that say keep your alpacas on a dry lot so that parasites can't even come across the grass, and some people put them on pasture. And anyway, so we've had a lot. We don't get us wrong. We're not saying don't get alpacas. We enjoyed them.
I loved them. I absolutely loved them. They are beautiful creatures, and whenever you take a group of animals and you get them and they're almost wild, and you go out there every day and you spend time with them, there is something so magical about taming that and getting that to eat out of your hands. Or we had one that if you leaned down to him and said, give me a kiss, and smooched at him, he would lean out and try to kiss you. There's something very magical about that process. So I guess the main thing that we would say is know what you're getting into. Have a support system.
Please have somebody ready and available. The support, having the support. This isn't another barnyard animal. An alpaca is not something that you get and expect to have, a horse or a pig or a goat or a chicken, or always having something available that somebody knows something about. Nobody knows anything about alpacas. I mean, it's just, I say nobody, you know what I mean? I mean, we lost the alpaca thing because we didn't have the support and the information readily available.
Right. And I think we were almost, for lack of a better term, we were practically doomed from the start because we had it figured out because you can't house males and females together. They are opportunal breeders.
Right, they don't have a season.
They don't have a season, so it's just like you put them together and the magic happens. They're not like goats where you can keep them together until they come into heat and then they have to be separated. It's not like that. So you have to have two separate enclosures, which we knew that, and we had made plans for two different areas, and it was like, 3 days before the alpacas got here, we found out that the grass that we had growing in one of the areas was deadly.
Yeah, fescue and rye. You can't have fescue or rye.
If you have any fescue or rye, it will kill them, or it will cause them to miscarry babies and stuff like that. So at that point, we knew one of our areas had fescue and ryegrass on it.
Everything has to be endophyte free,
Right, and so we ended up having to move, scramble and split the area that we hold the horse in. The horses had taken it down to dirt, so there was no issues with there being anything growing in it. But at that point, we had to then split the designed areas for the alpacas down from that being for one group of them to having to split it in half, and their area just got smaller.
Right.
There's issues in the summertime. You need to keep them cool.
Have to have fans on them. I mean, you really need to have fans blowing all the time.
Because
they've
that
got
fleece,
thick fleece, yeah.
and if it gets wet, it'll basically just burn up. But you can only spray their bellies.
Yeah, you can't spray their body. There's just a lot to learn. And once again, don't miss out on getting alpacas if you have something available for somebody to walk you through. But if you don't have anybody or anything available to walk you through, I would highly suggest not getting them. To have something nearby that can pull you out of a jam, because we have had, even in emergency situations, our only result was to get on Facebook or get a hold of people on these groups and find out why my alpaca is just all of a sudden running around and running into fences and not even, just completely delirious, like completely tripping out and seeing things and going completely nuts. Why? And there's nobody here to help you with that. And we've had so many instances of things that happen that never happen to people.
Right. It was like, I've never heard of that.
I guess we made the same assumption as a lot of people that, we'll just do the research and we're smart enough and we can figure it out. And for the most part, we were. But after a year, we were just exhausted. We were, that's all we did. We read about alpacas and talked to people, and still we did not have what we needed to be successful. So anyway, that is why we got out of it. We sold them, and everybody was sad when we made the decision, but when they left, I think everybody just went, we just relaxed. I mean, it was
yeah, something that nobody really tells you is all of their feed. Feed store didn't carry feed.
special order, yeah,
We had to special order everything.
because they lack selenium.
Right,
You know, our ground
we had to practically special order everything, and you know, once again, we're not telling you not to do it because I feel like alpacas were probably one of the more rewarding animals that we have ever owned,
and humbling.
and yes, very humbling. There is something very magical about owning them, and there is something inside you that literally moves at the sight of them, and being able to take care of them.
Everything from their goofy run to
everything about them is fantastic. But please know what you're going into before you go there. They are great. We love them. Down the road, we may entertain getting them, but we weren't ready. We weren't ready for what was coming, and I think as time goes on and we learn more, that we might be more willing to get back into them. But for now, it was...
We got other things we need to focus on.
Right, it was too big of a commitment, and it was such a learning curve moving from your standard farm animals to alpacas that at the end, we weren't ready.
Right.
And that's all I can say is we weren't ready. If this is the route that you choose to take, please be ready. Do as much research as you can. Find a mentor if possible. Find a vet. That even if they are not a camellia vet, you need one that will at least be willing. And we couldn't even find one that was willing.
Right.
We couldn't. They were such unique creatures that we couldn't even find a vet that would try. So.
Yeah. So this video, you know, isn't to sway you one way or another. It's just to let you know where our
decision was.
Experience and everything has led us to the decision to get rid of them. And so hopefully this has helped you. You know, I hope it doesn't sway you one way or another. I just hope that it does give you some insight into an alpaca farmer and everything that you need to learn. Other than that, y'all, I think we're going to wrap this up, and hopefully, like I said, this helped, and maybe we can
help you out if you need it.
Yep.
We'd be more than glad.
Thank you.